Hey all. You know, it feels crazy to be talking about Warhammer Fantasy again after all of these years. It was my preferred game, you know. And the one thing that Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k, the futuristic miniatures game, have in common is this idea of religion, zealotry, and superstition. And they both show it in different ways. With the 40k, it's almost sort of ironic, but hey, you know, we're not talking about machine spirits to make things work 40,000 years into the future madness. The evolution. But here we have with fantasy, obviously, like any fantasy world, we have religions and deities, and there is a pantheon as well. And I'm not going to go into the specific details because it's going to make these videos very, very long to do that, of what that pantheon is. So just to be aware, and, you know, they're present and they are real, you know, and there are chaos gods as well that are real, and they have different aspects of nature, or the unnatural, one could argue, when it comes to chaos, you know, the various different chaos gods. And like, for instance, we have the twin-tailed comet and that whole storyline of Sigmar, and that basically helps to found the entire empire, you know, the emperor become god. Again, sounds just like 40k, right? I mean, they are shades of one another. And when it comes to some books like this, you know, like the Warhammer Fantasy role-play book, even though I played a crap ton of 6th edition and 7th edition, really played it a lot, and just a smidgen of 8, but I just couldn't stand it. And actually, when they did the old world, what did they mostly bring back the rules to? Not 8. So, you know, I was vindicated. I know some people out there like 8, but I was personally vindicated. You know, no disrespect to you. So there are this whole pantheon, and you have the different kinds of priests or nuns or whichever of the main religions, and it's usually, you know, within this setting, this Sigmarite religion and cults, and, you know, flagellants and persons like this that you can actually play. You can be all of these kinds of different people and work your way up through the career of one of those. And they have their own form of, like, spellcasting, if you like, you know, what you'd be familiar with. So it's not just wizards that are the spellcasters, then the witches and the hedge wizards and so forth. You've also got the miracle callers, you know, the divine blessed ones that call upon miracles, that call upon different success levels. And that is a test, again, to test for the miracle set of your particular deity. So whoever is you worship there, that's there might be sort of related miracles based on that. So there is a way of going down and playing a kind of a caster-ish game, but with miracles, being that cleric kind of type in D&D terms, yeah, of similarity. But because they're fun, and they're more fun than the goodies, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the Chaos Gods. I feel like I'm knocking at your door with some pamphlets. Do you have a moment to talk about Nurgle? It's probably my least favourite Nurgle. Just, I don't know why that came to mind. Nurgle, there are 4 principal Chaos Gods. Chaos Gods. Nurgle being one of them, which is kind of, you know, the plague and disease god, you know. It's all about, he grants his followers these gifts and boons so that their bodies become pustulent and diseased, and they spread this opulent disorder everywhere, and that is the mark of the god, and it's the splendor of it. And then you've got Khorne, who is pretty simple, really. Don't tell him I said that. Who is, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. That's the saying right there. And it's just kill, maim, take trophies, more blood, rivers of blood, kill them. More blood, more blood, more blood. Many blood, left side, deal with it. Wait, that's the more dots guy now I've turned into. Oh, man, I'm showing my age with my memes here, aren't I? My wow memes, everything. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's just the classic crazed berserker, basically, but just always frenzied, kill, 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 kill. That's Khorne. He hates magic, by the way. That's the total antithesis to him. And then we have Slaanesh, who is a little bit dirty. It's all about like pain and pleasure, and the pleasure is pain, and the pain is pleasure, and and is very vain and narcissistic, and all about drawing you in, and creatures with that's this soporific musk that will bewitch you, and think Hellraiser, Cenobites, that's very Slaanesh right there, So, and then we finally round off our Chaos Pantheon with Tzeentch, 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 who is basically is a big one for magic, but also divinity, reading the future, divining, I should say, being able to have the great plans and schemes for what's going to come, and maybe even work against what seemingly against its own objectives to fulfill a later objective down the line. So able to foresee, and the great schemer and the planner of things, and all about the magic. So those are the four main ones. And then you could argue the Great Horned Rat, which is what the Skaven pray to, is technically a fifth one amongst them, but it's kind of the the Johnny come lately rat thing. So we'll talk about these dudes, and they have various different followers, and while they aren't in the scope to be played necessarily here, you could become mutated and corrupted. So this game has got that element too. And so you could end up with gifts if you prove yourselves to the evil gods, and then you may become so corrupted that you're not even a playable character anymore. And so very often mortals will get corrupted. As time goes on, things can corrupt them in the game, and you build up corruption points, and you may mutate. So, and there are these gods actually have their own demons as well, their own kinds of demons, all the way up to the greater demon that's basically an avatar of them, of their form, that walks the planet for a while. And the idea here is that, we're in a world of superstition. So we've got witch hunters about, for example, as a great example, because, they're on the lookout for, suspicious behavior, wizards that may not be licensed, people, is that an extra arm under your jacket, right? Or are you very displeased to see me? And things like this, because if they find that, then they are the authority on doing something about that. You have been tainted by chaos. I shall slay you here, or drag you before, my witch finder general, or whatever it's going to be. So you've got that superstition and dark age kind of mentality going on here. Beware, that is a mark of chaos. that has been branded upon your skin. Oh, no, I don't believe in Sinch. Yes, well, clearly Sinch believes in you. And they drag you off, and you're never seen again. So that's how the world exists in regards to, very briefly, religion and the belief system. I'll see you at the next one.